What's up, all you Spawntastic dudes and dudettes? ToyShiz here, and I'm back yet again to give you guys another fresh Retroshiz look back at the past. And today, we are totally checking out the Spawn Series 23 Spawn Mutations. And this is what I'm calling the Monster Spawn. It's the spawn of this particular wave by McFarlane Toys, but it's one of those that I never got. I was actually not, I remember back in the day, not a huge fan of this particular wave. Some of the waves here and there, you know, collecting McFarlane toys, you had like the Nitro Riders, things like that. Not always my cup of tea, but kind of going back, I love the artwork right there in that little blue square by Capullo. Very, very cool. But in going back and kind of refreshing the collection, getting ones that I didn't have, this was always on my list, being that it's a Spawn figure and I really gravitate more towards the different variations on Spawn himself. On the back of the card, you get this really nice red background photos of the figure. You get Spawn Mutations, being that this is kind of a what-if scenario wave, like just changing up the Spawn series just a bit and then showing it in action figure format. You got 5 figures for this wave, and if you want to go ahead and screen grab this, it's the story along with this particular Spawn's bio, and it's actually really cool. It's what if Spawn just enveloped himself in the darkness and all that stuff of being a hell spawn, and this is the monster that results. So it's a little bit of Violator, a little bit of Malbolgia, and that combined with Spawn. So sit back, relax, enjoy yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is the 2003 Series 23 Spawn Mutations Spawn by McFarlane Toys. And here's old Spawn out of the packaging, and if you did show up on my Instagram, I kind of did a spur of the moment live video pulling this guy out of the packaging. The packaging basically fell apart, brittle as all holy heck. That's why I was really glad to just kind of get him out, but he looks amazing. But thank you again to everybody tuned in. I love the details on this guy. He is an amazingly sculpted, painted, everything figure. Yes, he is a pre-posed figure, and he does have extremely limited articulation. And even when I was kind of showing him off real fast in the video, I noticed that his joints were very, very stuck. But kind of fiddling around with it, I did get his joints moving up and ready. We'll just say that. But his waist, I'm not going to force it. He can spin at the waist, but mine is not moving. But you can see the details on this guy. It's incredible. He's very much that Fleabiac kind of brother. He's got all these different lines and veins and scales and everything else. Bone protrusions. I love the back, especially his shoulder, little design, little Spawn design on him. You see all these big like tusks and things sticking out of him. It's very cool. On the back of the figure, really beautiful reds mixed together with the gold, the sort of black-gray sort of Spawn skin that he has, but just the intricacy and everything, it's very fluid. Everything kind of moves and contorts with this particular Spawn figure, and I love that it still has a semblance of his costume. He's got that little Spawn design right there on his chest, on the top of the head. Again, gorgeous reds, gorgeous greens for the eyes. It's a little bit of a bat creature, gorilla creature, very animalistic. It's all morphed into one just massive beast. He's got these really cool metal chains that slink down from the base of his cheekbones down to his chest. And again, just in looking at this figure from every angle, there's so much just meticulous goodness going on. His jaw, I do wish he had an articulated jaw, but it's a very ferocious type pose going on. You can tell that he's roaring or doing something, even down to all the little protrusions, little bones, whatever have you. It's just a very cool and interesting design Spawn. And with having, you know, just so many Spawn figures and then looking at this guy, it's a very different take in like the best of ways. And all that's really missing is his giant red cape, and I wouldn't mind having that on this figure. But when you do pair him up with past Spawns and including the new Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn, he fits in really nicely. And just kind of imagining that what if scenario, like, okay, yeah, Spawn just totally had it taken over by the darkness, became that creature from hell, and this works. This is a total beast. It also kind of works as maybe like a pet for Spawn, you know, just to really go that extra route. But, you know, pairing him up against Violator, fight to the finish, all that kind of stuff, just monsters going at it. He looks amazing. I'm very happy to have this finally on my shelf. And again, I'm kicking myself. Why haven't I had this for years and years and years? But hey, you know what? We can make up for lost time now and really show this guy off proper. But again, with the reds, the fades, just the intricacies of the paint with the green, the wash, everything works on this guy. I love his teeth. Pairing him up again with various spawns, you got Pirate Spawn, you could have him going up against his beastie, very Pirates of the Caribbean style. And if you want to see me do a video on Pirate Spawn, or again, if you have a Spawn figure in particular like me to see me do for Retroshiz, comment below. I'd love to know your guys' choices, and I can probably make that happen. But again, he scales well with a vast majority of previous McFarlane Toys figures, so I think he's going to be a great addition for your monster shelf, your Spawn shelf, McFarlane shelf, what have you. He's just a total knockout in the sense of you don't really see this type of thing anymore these days. The articulation, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's there enough to get some really cool monsters poses on him. You pose him once, you're good. You leave him on the shelf, and he's just nothing but eye candy. But I'm curious to know what you guys think about this figure. Did you have him? Do you need to get him? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Spawn. Again, with this Spawn Mutations line, growing up and seeing this in the store wasn't my thing for back in the day, but having him now, I'm totally just like, wow, I missed out. This is a fantastically cool, different, alternative Spawn figure, and one that if you are a Spawn collector, you gotta have him. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, in a what-if scenario, if you ended up looking like this as opposed to what the Malbolgia of this wave looks like, well, then you're doing pretty good in life. Just saying. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.